இது கையில நான் பிடிச்சு கொடுத்தேன். மூணு பேர்
A very good evening to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's inaugural function. To start with, may we all raise and be one in mind, body and spirit as we praise and thank our Almighty God for all His graces and blessings. I call upon Reverend Dr. Ross, MCC Chaplain, to start the proceedings with a prayer, followed by MCC BTSP choir team for a prayer song.
Lift up your heads, O you gates, you ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is God, this King of glory? The Lord Almighty, God is the King of glory. Loving God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you and we praise you for all the good facilities that you offer to the Madras Christian College from time to time. We thank the Madras Christian College, Boyd Tandon School of Business, which is a world-class institution which has been established here. We thank you for the vision. We thank you for the aspiration. We thank you for all of that which has been embedded in the institution. We thank you for Mrs. Chandrika Krishnamurthy Tandon, whom you had enabled to study in the Madras Christian College several years ago. With grateful heart, she has donated the main part in order to build this building, this facility, in order to have students and trainers to be entertained and to enter into the arena of the world in order to make business effective and fruitful. We thank you for her life. We pray that you will bless her. We thank you for all the other dignitaries who are present here. Our beloved principal of the Madras Christian College, the board of directors, the officers of the college, the administrators, the faculty colleagues, and the administration of the business school of business over here, and all the friends and business partners who are present here. We thank you for the student friends who are present here. We pray that the power of the Holy Spirit may grasp all of us and especially be bestowed upon the institution that we inaugurate this day. And in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, we inaugurate the MCC Boyd Tandon School of Business for the glory of God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
all be seated now. We have come now to the most awaited moment. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the significant occasion, we are reminded of the journey and the efforts that brought us here. Please join me as we reveal this lasting tribute to the ceremony. I would now call upon Ms. Chandrika Krishnamurthy Tandon, Chairperson, Associates, USA, please to join. Thank you, ma'am. Please take. Okay.
Just announce everybody goes.
Okay. Yes. I request all the guests and dignitaries to join us in the conference hall. It's in the second floor. I request all the dignitaries and guests to join us in the second floor conference hall. Our students, ushers will Director, Dr. P. David Jawahar, MCC Boy Tandon School of Business, to deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to welcome, on behalf of the entire MCC BTSP family, this galaxy of stars who have gathered here on this momentous occasion. At the outset, let me welcome our mentor, preceptor, friend, philosopher, guide, and a most generous donor, Ms. Chandrika Krishnamurthy Tandon, to this event. Ms. Chandrika, I can find no words to express my gratitude for all that you have done. Thank you for being with us. We really look forward to your keynote address in a short while. A warm welcome to our Honorable Chairman, Mr. Maman. Sir, thank you for sparing your precious time to be with us for this inaugural function. And we are terribly sorry we had to move you through 3 floors. It is a testimony to the invaluable support we have been receiving from the MCC board in all our endeavors. Thank you, sir. A warm welcome to Mr. Arun Maman, Vice Chairman MRF, for joining us today. Thank you, sir. Welcome. A special welcome to Mr. N. Ravi from the Hindu Group. Sir, your presence in our midst is truly a morale booster for all of us. Thank you, sir, for taking your time to be with us. I also welcome our respected principal, Dr. Paul Wilson. You, sir, have always encouraged and inspired us to go beyond the ordinary. Welcome, sir. I also welcome the respected members of the MCC Association and board. All of them have had an important role in our growth. We are thankful for your presence and your support. A warm welcome to our bursar, Mr. Cyrus Kalupakal. A warm welcome to the many luminaries from the media and media friends. You have always been supportive and encouraging. A very warm welcome to all the captains of the various industries, representatives from SICI, CII, and other bodies who have accepted our humble invitation and are here despite their punishing schedule. We look forward to partnering with you in the days to come. A warm welcome to the members of the MCC family, the vice principals, the deans, the directors, HODs, learned faculty members, and other unit heads. We will explore opportunities to create synergy by coming together in the days ahead. I also welcome our special invitees, including Mr. Gopal, who taught me the importance of P's and Q's in communication. A warm welcome to Mr. Raymond Graf from Germany. He's a retired civil servant. He is to teach a course for our students this trimester. There are a few others who are not physically present here, but are joining us through a video link. Welcome to them too. Before we swing into the program, let me clear the air. This is not just an inaugural event. This is the story of MCC BTSP. This story did not begin 6 months ago, as many would imagine. It started a long time back. That the story is being told today at all is a testimony to the vision, tenacity, resilience, and perseverance of a select few. If not for them, this day would not have come about. Today, this one story would be narrated by many policymakers, students, industry representatives, knowledge partners, and academicians. And the story wouldn't end here today. This is just the beginning. I welcome you all to listen to this astonishing David and Goliath story. Thank you all once again, and a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the warming welcome. Now I cordially request Dr. Paul Wilson, respected Principal and Secretary, Madras Christian College, to felicitate.
Our patron, Ms. Chandrika Tandon, our chairman, Mr. Arun Maman, Vice Chairman of MRF, Board of Directors, faculty members, and industrialists and students. I'm here to set the context very briefly. How this MCC BTSP, we call it as Boy Tandon School of Business, would be different from the existing business schools in India. So that's my duty. So let me set the context and call it a day. There are many business schools in India and other countries, but we are all moving towards redefining the higher education in a different capacity because of the demographic transition that is taking place now and the socio-cultural changes that are taking place now. So the way we try to define the model that we evolve as part of the MCC Boyton School of Business is a kind of a college which has 187 years old legacy in liberal arts and science education, which has already set a trend in many decades. And other side, we have MCC BTSB, and we also have MCC MRF Innovation Park. Most of the business schools would not have a concept of a research park or innovation park or incubation center, maybe mostly theoretical. But here we have a connection between a kind of three components in an ecosystem together. So this is what we are trying to project before you today. So we have Madras Christian College, which offers liberal arts and science education. And we have Innovation Park, which will bridge Madras Christian College and MCC Boyton School of Business together for incubating their ideas. So now, if you look at the way the higher education is getting transformed, I think people are looking forward for a place where end-to-end support is offered in one place. I think I would say we get a mileage over there as MCC Tandon School of Business. So I would like to congratulate all the faculty members and Dr. Jawahar taking up this challenge of redefining the higher education with the help of existing banner that we have, the brand value that we have as Madras Christian College, and the brand that we're creating as a part of MCC MRF Innovation Park, and adding value to MCC BTSP, where I'm sure that the problem-solving ability of students from multiple perspectives can be fostered here, because we have students from arts and science, we have students from engineering, we have students from sciences here. All of them would come together in solving a problem from multiple perspectives. I think this we call as ecosystem model. So I'm here to propose this model as part of setting the context. So in the absence of any other additions, because we have no time now, we have started very late. So I wish to congratulate the team for making every arrangement here for celebrating this inauguration formally with the help of Ms. Tandon. You would not see a donor hand-holding the team. I think I would really thank Ms. Chandrika Tandon. Right from the beginning, she was hand-holding us regularly, calling us over phone, calling us over Zoom, and asking us what is happening around. I think she has a great passion for the institution that we need to really appreciate. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I also invite Dr. S. Alfred Dev Prasad, Board Member, MCC Board of Director, to felicitate the gathering.
So today is not only a proud moment for the members of the board and members of the association and the so many advisors who have stood by us, but also to you students, you dear students. This is going to be not just an accident for you. You are not here, as you heard this morning, you are here with a purpose, and being the very first batch students of MCC Tandon, you have a legacy that you will leave behind. And to inspire this legacy, you have an institution which carries the name of two illustrious people. One, the name of Reverend Boyd. He represents all that is good in MCC, all that we see as a legacy in MCC. Reverend Boyd carries the tradition of an Anderson in him, a Miller in him, people who sacrifice their life so that today we see this prestigious 187-year-old Madras Christian College stand here. And you have yet another very illustrious alumni whom you see in front of you, a life which should inspire every one of you. Every time we hear this life, it's not just a contribution, it's not just a hand-holding, it's the inspiration that Ms. Chandrika Tandon is. For a girl who came from a background where her parents didn't want her to study, from a girl who had to fight odds all her life, come into Madras Christian College, go to the United States, and impact America. Each one of you can leave a footprint like that behind, and you will be the legacy creators of tomorrow. So I wish you all the very best. You will be inspired by these stories, and I'm sure from this institution will come many more inspirational stories which will inspire many others. All the very best.
Thank you, sir. A leader is one who sees more than others see, who sees farther than the others see, and who sees before others see. Now, I humbly invite Mr. K. M. Maman, Honorable Chairman, MCC Association, and Board of Director, MCC, to deliver the presidential address.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and deep sense of gratitude I stand before you today at the inauguration of MCC Boyd Tandon School of Business. This momentous association marks the culmination of vision, dedication, and unwavering support of a truly remarkable individual, Ms. Chandrika Tandon. Ms. Tandon is not just an outstanding business leader and philanthropist, but also a distinguished alumnus of our beloved institution, MCC. Her immense contribution has been the very backbone of making MCC Boyd Tandon School of Business a reality. Though her philanthropy, she has provided not only financial support, but also invaluable guidance, ensuring that this business school stands as a beacon of excellence. Ensuring that this business school stands as a beacon of excellence. Ms. Tandon relentlessly efforts in bridging industry connections both internationally and nationally, and open doors of our institution that are previously difficult to reach. At this moment, I am pleased to announce Ms. Chandrika Tandon has pledged an additional $1 million to Boyd Tandon Business School as a matching grant. This is in addition to our previous generous contributions of similar amounts a few years ago. I'm confident that with this new matching grant will inspire many other alumni and corporate partners to generously support this prestigious and dear institution, MCC. MCC Boyd Tandon School of Business, alongside the MCC MRF Innovation Park, creates a dynamic and integrated environment that is unparalleled. The potential of this integrated MCC business collaboration is immense. By fostering collaboration among the commerce and business departments of MCC, we can create a cohesive ecosystem that leverages shared resources, infrastructural facilities, and human capital. To truly harness this potential, it is essential to establish a common advisory body that ensures the seamless functioning of these units. This integration will not only enhance the education experience, but also position MCC as a leader in business education and innovation. As we embark on this new chapter, let us remember that our strength lies in our unity and our shared wisdom of excellence. Together with the unwavering support and benefactors like Ms. Chandrika Tandon, we will continue to shape the future of education, inspiring generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insight, inspiring words, and sharing your wisdom with us. Every story we hear today is a testament to resilience, growth, and ambition. Each testimonial is a window into a journey filled with challenges, overcome lessons learned, and dreams realized. To highlight on a celebrated SIGWI model, we have curated the experience of 3 students. It is my great pleasure to welcome Ms. Margaret Beena, our first speaker, who will share her incredible story. She'll be speaking on the short-term industry engagement, which stands for Industry Ready.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Margaret Beena, excited to share my short term industry engagement experience at Lincoln Electric, a journey that has been both enlightening and impactful. My internship began on 29th August 2024 with Lincoln Electric Company, Chengalpattu, under the supply chain domain, where I was assigned a real time project titled 3PL Warehouse. This project focused on evaluating and relocating a warehouse, and it proved to be a deeply insightful experience. One of the primary objectives of the project was to determine the feasibility and benefits of relocating the existing warehouse to one of the prime region in the northern part of India. Through thorough research and analysis along with my team, we identified the key advantages of this relocation, which included cost savings and enhanced timely deliveries. A vital aspect of my project involved establishing the criteria for selecting the warehouse vendor. This required me to analyze factors such as cost effectiveness, reliability, scalability, and the vendor's capacity to align with Lincoln Electric's operational goals. This process taught me the importance of balancing strategic planning with practical decision making. Working on this project provided me with valuable industrial exposure and earned me significant appreciation within the industry. Through this internship, I gained a comprehensive understanding of supply chain and logistics in dealing with the business operations. During my tenure, I also learned about the SAP ERP system, which is used to efficiently manage orders and returns for the company's products. I found a PGDM curriculum unique, robust, and the state of art where different subjects played a significant role in my understanding and enlarged my knowledge base during the internship and beyond. For example, concepts like idea validation, cost optimization, resources allocation, and demand and supply principles navigated me to the task in the decision making process. This connection demonstrated how interdisciplinary learning can also be applied effectively in the field of supply chain management. Further, a curriculum framework at MCC BTSB enabled entrepreneurial learnings and provided ample space and support through MCC MRF Innovation Park. This framework enabled us to identify the uncontested market opportunities and helped us to pitch our venture in the recently held Business Idea Validation Workshop organized by MCC BTSB. After 6 months in the PGDM program, I have gained valuable insights into business and leadership. I'm glad that I've chosen MCC BTSB for my PGDM program because of its strong industry connection, experienced faculty team, and focus on practical learning, which have significantly contributed to my professional and academic growth, preparing me for the real world challenges. On behalf of Lincoln Electric interns, I thank our director, Dr. David Jawahar, academic head, Dr. C. Samuel Joseph, Dr. T.S. Muralidharan, head external, for their consistent support and opportunity that gave all the 5 of us an invaluable learning experience at Lincoln Electric Company. My special thanks to CMACS, Mr. Sudhakar, CFO at Lincoln Electric India, for accommodating us thus far. I'm also indebted to our principal, Dr. Paul Wilson, our patron, Ms. Chandrika Krishnamurthy Tandon from USA. But for these legends, I'm what I'm today. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my learning experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Beena. The next share is experience on the PGDM program, takeaways, and campus life, which is impact ready. I now call upon Mr. Noah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored and privileged to take this opportunity to share about my incredible journey at MCC Boyd Tandon School of Business over this past 6 months. Though the time has been brief, the exposure and the opportunity that this institution has provided has been transformative. When I was first exploring all my options for postgraduate studies, MCC BTSB stood out for two key reasons. First is its dynamic curriculum, which constantly aligned with the industry standards. This forward-thinking approach ensured that the students learn not only theoretically but also practically. And also the MCC's legacy of 187 years, which stood as the greatest honor for me to join this. And joining as the inaugural batch was also an exciting prospectus. Being part of the first batch meant taking unique responsibilities. And as a director, Dr. P. David Jawahar always reminds us that the onus is on us. And we, the students, are the brand ambassadors of MCC BTSB. And I am happy and I'm proud to be a part of this particular institution. And also, I also take this time to privilege. I also had the privilege of forming the hospitality committee. When I proposed the idea to Dr. Samuel Joseph, he encouraged me to take the lead as the convener. And this experience taught me importance of leadership, teamwork, as we organized various events, strengthening my practical understanding and management. And I'm also proud to say that my journey has been one of tremendous growth, starting with the significant role as in our official newsletter, that is Unbounded. I was given the opportunity by my class in charge, Dr. Anu CH, and this role was deeply personal to me because my father had been the chief editor of the organization for over a decade. And under the guidance of Dr. Anu, Dr. David Jawahar, and Dr. Samuel Joseph, we were able to successfully launch our first edition. And with their constant feedback and support, we are working on the second edition. And MCC emphasizes real-world exposures, which has been more impactful for me. For example, being part of our campus choir has been deeply fulfilling experience for me. We regularly sing at the morning assembly, and our Christmas carol service was one of the one of the huge success. And this achievement brought us together as a team and made us proud of what we accomplished together. And in addition, our hostel life is an essential part of our experience. It is structured and cultured to suit the unique needs of business students. The atmosphere fosters collaboration and camaraderie, giving us perfect environment to learn, grow, and create lifelong memories. MCC BTSB also ensures that we stay active and engaged throughout this journey by taking various initiatives like the fitness club, where multiple events with collaboration with the MCC campus has taken place. And this activity not only keeps us fit, but also brings us together as a community. Academically, MCC BTSB sets high standards despite of being newly established institution. Quality education through experienced faculty and innovative teaching methods. The regular open houses and feedback forms demonstrate how much faculty value our input, and what stands out is the humility and willingness of our PhD holding professors to adapt and improve based on our feedbacks. This taught me a very important lesson in life, that is, no matter how accomplished we become, we remain open to learning and growth. And lastly, I would like to thank our beloved Ms. Chandrika Tandon for being a huge part of this journey from the day one we joined this particular institution. And I especially hold dear to the beautiful principle you shared with us, ma'am, that is love, life, and laughter. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, MCC BTSB, for shaping me to who I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Noha. To speak on the experience which is society ready, I would like to call now Ms. Purnakala to share her experience on the recently concluded social immersion.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Purnakala, here to share my social immersion experience with Kodu, an incredible NGO that has been supported by ITC and making real difference in the society for over 30 years. What I experienced. I was involved in their HIV awareness campaign, and I also learned about their water stewardship program in the Upper Bhavani Basin. So it focused on water conservation and like ensuring fair distribution of water, especially in the area where the water is scarce. The field visits were another highlights. I got to observe their sustainable farming practices and even learn about organic pest control using drone, a perfect blend of tradition and technology together. The NGO also support women entrepreneurs. They help them to make and produce locally available products, which was amazing. What I learned and its impact on my personal life, career goals, and the values I gained. So, this social immersion taught me the power of community driven solutions, whether it's spreading health awareness, managing the water sustainably, or helping women entrepreneurs grow. I also saw the how importance of effective communication. Similarly, learning about organic farming, sustainable water management gave me a deeper appreciation for eco-friendly solutions. Most importantly, I learned the real change comes from collaboration, whether it's the self-help group helping each other or the communities tackling challenges together. So, this emotion changed the way I think about leadership and business. It made me more aware of the importance of sustainability and its inclusivity in everything we do. I have come away with practical skills and a greater sense of responsibility. I owe a big thanks to MCC BTSB for making this social immersion possible with the right guidance. The support I received from the college was invaluable. To conclude, this was more than a social immersion program for me. MCC BTSB has shaped me to be a future ready professional. Once again, I thank the college, NGO Kudu, and all of you here for letting me share my experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Purnakala. I hope you all feel as inspired as I do. These stories reaffirm the importance of our mission, the minor character. As we listen to these testimonials, let us reflect on how far we have come, recognizing the power of collaboration and imagine the possibilities that lie ahead. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite our first speaker, Mr. Sudhakar, India Head Finance, Lincoln Electric's company, to share his experience with our students.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to be here in the presence of you for the inauguration ceremony of the MCC Boyd Tandon Business School. And I work for Lincoln Electric company. It's a US-based company which is into the field of welding. And in fact, I'm happy that our company is associated with MCC BTSB. In creating the employability of the fresh graduates, because what we find missing in today's scenario is people have the academic background, but what they miss is on the practical side of it. I think this is a good initiative. I really appreciate the institution for collaborating with the industry in missing the or bridging the gap. Even today I read the survey which is published by the World Economic Forum, which says technology is going to be the next leap. the industry is moving towards AI, artificial intelligence, and the robotic process automation. I think I'm glad to see I've gone through the curriculum of MCC and find one of the electives specifically designed on the artificial intelligence and robotic process automation. I think that is where the industry is trending, and most of us in industry, we use industry 4.0, we use IoTs and things like that. So RPA, so that has become integral part of the industry. I think we are moving in the right direction, I would say. And about the interns, I would say, like, we had a batch of 2 people, a batch of 2, which had nearly 5 to 6 interns. And as Bina mentioned in the beginning, like the project that was interested to her was, the team was on, identifying a location, which is in a different part of India, which can be closer to the customer and which will help us reduce the time, in reaching out to the customers. So I think it was an interesting project, and it was also strategic from a company perspective. And these guys really, did a fantastic job, I would say. And the report they brought out was, really answering the strategic questions that we had, and we were able to make decisions on that. And what was surprising is that these people like came up with fresh ideas as well. So I think that is one of the important things, because being in industry, we sometimes it tends to be a blind spot for us, like where we tend to miss few things. Whereas these guys are fresh, they come out with a lot of new ideas, and these ideas really these are all takeaways for the industry as well. So I would say it's a collaboration between the industry and the academics, where these people come something with them and share it across the table to us. In fact, I personally learned a couple of IT stuff. Like there is one Jamovi, I would really tell, Karthik is one of the trainee here in finance. So he talked about Jamovi. I do not know what is Jamovi is. So in fact, he promised me that, he will teach me that. So in that way, it's a win-win for both the industry as well as academics. And that way, we can partner together and, take both the institutions to the next level. And finally, like, I'm sure, these sort of trainings are required, and it really help. It definitely will help the industry as well as the the students as well. Because in terms of employment, most of the times what we look at, people are strong in academics, but they miss the practical side of it. I think this will really fill the gap and really would take both the industry as well as the individuals to the graduates to the next level. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thanks all.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Mr. Pandian, Vice President Finance, Ashok Leyland Limited, to join us to share his experiences.
Good evening to all. I'm very happy to be part of these great occasions, and thank you for the management to give me opportunity to be part of this MCC Business School. I used to be here for a couple of occasions taking classes with the students. Mainly, instead of saying classes, I used to interact with the students more. So the students are more interactive in nature. So they used to learn more. So the eagerness to learn more is the key for their success. And every session we have, it's a lovely session. I used to have 1 hour session, but used to extend it beyond 1 hour, because the kind of interaction they used to have is lasted for more than hour session even for interactions. Very happy to be that the MCC selected those students who really eager to learn more. But these are the leader going to be the future leader of the industries. And these kind of people decide the future of economic and India and including industries. And as part of this business, good proposals came from them. Morning session, they used to learn business from theoretical college. And afternoon, they want to spend their time with the industries. So unique structure where they are expressed and be ready to accept. We took some 2 pages, about 5 people to be part of the industry activities where they learn the day-to-day activities, they interact with the managers, they interact with seniors, and what kind of a day-to-day complex situation is going around, what the industry actually doing. So it's make them to understand what theoretically they're studying in the morning hours, put that into practice in the afternoon hours. And also used to tell them that please interact with each other. So that's give them the opportunity, what they learn individually among themselves, when they discuss among them. It's create an opportunity to interlink what they're learning in a business organization. So industry is nothing but interlinking the many individual function into one, so that when industries deliver, is deliver as a unit, it's deliver as a team. Similarly, the way the team sits here needs to be delivered as a team. So the team manages, the team delivers, the team deliver become the leaders. When the leaders deliver, that's the success of the business school. I really thank, give me opportunity, and the students are really, really doing very good. Encourage them. So this kind of interaction with many industries always help the industry also learn. And also, because today we find it very difficult to select good people. The job opportunity is always available, but selecting good people is more critical for us. And this kind of opportunities make them to, students also learn what kind of industries they are going to perform their duties, what kind of expectations are there from industries. And all easy for the industry to know what kind of students coming. The students coming with a different knowledge. The knowledge they are gaining is completely different because they are updated with current happenings. So it's easy for us to learn from them and make them to quickly adapt to the changing environment. The business is complex in nature. You know, the today's business is not there tomorrow. Each day it's complex in nature. So this makes them to plan in such a way, make them to understand, change to the business requirements. So all this is happening because when there's eagerness to learn is there. I thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. I thank MCC and also wish them a great success for all their future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we conclude today's testimonials, I hope you feel not only inspired but also reminded of the incredible impact we can achieve when we come together. Thanks to everyone who shared their experiences. Moving on to the knowledge partners. Knowledge partnerships are about more than exchanging information. They are about creating a bridge between ideas and action. As we reflect on our shared journey, the road ahead is filled with opportunities to deepen our collaborations, explore new horizons, and derive meaningful change. I request Mr. Victor Sundaraj, Associate Vice President, Head of Infosys Education Americas, Chief Mentor, Infosys Springboard Programs, to speak a few words on the road ahead.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite and opportunity. The number 187 in itself is breathtaking, and it's a testimony, to the fact, the commitment, the passion, the drive within the organization, within the institution, the board, the leadership, the management, faculty, students. I think it's a fabulous job. I think generation after generation you have been doing a wonderful achievement, and you're adding a feather in your cap, inaugurating this business school, right? So I'm really glad to be with all of you on this momentous occasion to sign this Infosys Springboard MOU. Infosys Springboard is a digital literacy initiative of Infosys. It's been launched with an intent to enable 10 million learners on digital and life skills. And what this program offers is access to close to about 20,000 courses on digital, on AI, and on all the latest and emerging technologies, management, life skills, from a business English communication skills to problem solving skills, problem finding skills, to design thinking, and many more, which will be useful for any professionals, right? So that's what Infosys Springboard brings about, and there are a lot of opportunities for the students for internship programs. There is a 12-week internship, year-long, always-on internship is offered through Infosys Springboard. There is an exclusive 12-week program for girls and women. It's called as Pragati, to enable them, to be competitive. And in fact, we launched this program for people, who have a career break and who wants to restart their career. But now we also see, young girls also becoming part of it and benefiting from this program. And that's again a year-long program. It runs every quarter. And there are faculty development programs that are part of this Infosys Springboard, which I'm sure the business school will get benefited. At the same time, there are also set up like Maker Lab that we have done as part of the Infosys Springboard, which inspires kids, inspires students, on all this latest, it's not only the online learning, people also get to soil their hands, have a hands-on learning experience through this Maker Lab in physical setup, as well as Maker Lab on wheels. We have about 5 buses which runs across the country to inspire the kids on all these latest and emerging technologies. So that's what Infosys Springboard is bringing to the institutions, to the student community, and also the lifelong learners, right, who can sign up freely and benefit from it. And we are really glad, to have this engagement today, initiated today with Boyd Tandon School of Business. And I think we will sign formally the MOU, and the students will benefit from it, and we are looking forward to a wonderful collaboration and interaction with the school. Yeah, thank you so much.
So, request you to be on the stage. The signing of Memorandum of Understanding marks a significant milestone in fostering Industry Connect, a bridge that links academia, innovation, and real-world application. Firstly, Infosys Springboard, CSR of Infosys, where it offers e-learning courses by making accessible technical courses and certification to MCC BTSP students. I request Mr. Victor Sundaraj, Associate Vice President, Head of Infosys Education Americas, Chief Mentor, Infosys Springboard Programs, and our Director, MCC BTSP, to come onto the stage for signing the MOU. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, I request Mr. Narayan Nambiar, Founder, Global FTI, ACCA UK, to share his thoughts and views on collaboration between the two institutions.
Good evening all, respected veteran, chairman, all members of the MCC and MCC Boyd Tandon School of Business, all dignitaries here. I am from Global Financial Training Institute. We have signed an agreement, MOU, with the Boyd Tandon School to introduce the ACCA program. ACCA is a UK program, Chartered Certified Accountancy program from UK. We have the ACCA India head who can talk more about ACCA, but ACCA these days, everybody in India related to commerce knows. The situation was much different some years back when I started this training institute. This was in 2007. Awareness was almost zero. People were asking, what is this Akka? ACC Akka. Akka in Tamil is a sister, no, elder sister. what is this akka? We had to explain. Now students already know, they come to various colleges asking whether there is akka here. That is the situation now. We had introduced this program in Christ University, Bangalore in 2009. And it's going on. Initially, we had a very small number. Now they have 3 batches at the central campus, 1 batch in Yeshwantapur and 1 batch in Ghaziabad, 5 batches of more than 300 students every year joining. And like that, we have in many universities and colleges. The academic head here, Samuel sir, called me a year back, in last year, said, we want to introduce SCCA in Boyd Tandon School. Samuel sir I know since more than 10 years, because he was with another university where we had introduced the program for the undergraduate students, BCom students, and also for the PGDM MBA students. He wanted that to be introduced. And first time when I met, we had to explain, we had to meet all the members, everybody, and explain to them about the program. But here, he already knows about that, therefore it was very easy for us. And we signed the MOU, we had orientation with the students and all. So we are here to support together with SCCA, because SCCA has to approve. They are in the process of approving the MOU with SCCA. Also is going to be signed today, and they approve the 9 paper exemption, because SCCA has total 13 papers. With 9 paper exemption, students have to write only 4 exams to pass or get a postgraduate professional qualification along with their PGDM. That's a question, why do you need a professional qualification like SCCA or any other program along with a PGDM or an MBA program? Is it not sufficient? I had an interaction with BCG, Boston Consulting, a top official of BCG. And I was discussing with him, we were discussing with him, I think SCCA Prapanshu was also in that meeting. We were discussing with him, why are you not recruiting graduates from reputable universities in India like Christ University and all, graduates, or even postgraduates, MPAs, etc. He said, we take contracts from clients who pay millions of dollars. They look at the qualification of the consultants who are going to handle the project. None of the universities in India comes under the world rankings. However, if you have a program, international program like SCCA or CPA, that makes a lot of difference. That's the reason why a professional qualification along with a PGDM or an MBA program will be useful. I'm sure this will be very useful for the students. We had orientation with the students, they understood, and they have all joined. Only BCom background students can join for that. And we, as a training institute, we have some of the world-class faculties. We are getting global ranks, global first to 5 ranks. This is from students writing exam from almost 180 countries. Global first we are getting consistently, first to 5. Yeah, and this program in some of the universities we have is considered is best in India, one of the best in the world. Therefore, we will provide complete support to the students, not only in studies, even in their placements. With the support of SCA, there are a lot of requirements because India is now a hub for finance, accounting, auditing job. From world over, the work is coming to India. All the big fours or big tens have India division and global division. And global division handles work from US, Canada, Europe, etc. And they prefer international qualification. Because in finance, IFRS is important. International Financial Reporting Standards is important. And SCCA follows IFRS. For there is a lot of requirements. At the moment, we are not able to give enough. Now, last week, the result came. I've received so many requests, much more than the number qualified. So it's a good program, and it can give the students much higher salaries. I have experience from my own daughter. My daughter has completed ACCA. She was working with KPMG, etc. Now she's working for Zoom, the video conferencing company. And Zoom has no office. They say Zoom is the office. But sitting in Bangalore, in her home, she works for US company, US job she is handling, and she's getting US salaries. So there is a lot of scope for such programs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Request you to be on the stage. Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA UK, is a prestigious global qualification in accounting, renowned for its focus on business, finance, auditing, taxation, and business strategy. MCC BTSP has mapped ACCA curriculum, and students of commerce pursuing PGDM at BTSP, where 9 papers are exempted out of 13. And with Global FTI, we prepare and coach BTSP students for ACCA exams, where BTSP will be authorized coaching center. I request Mr. Narayan Nambiar, founder, Global FTI, Mr. Prabhushan Mishra, head of Education Partner Relationship, ACCA, and our director to sign it. Okay, sir. Prabhain Smith. Okay. Thank you, sir. A clear vision backed by definite plans gives a tremendous feeling of confidence and personal power. She has a deep passion for deriving love, joy, and transcendence through her music and artistry. Through Soul's Chance Music, she has released 5 albums, and among which the Grammy-nominated one was Soul Call. She is a globally recognized business leader and humanitarian. She was named the inaugural Distinguished Alumnus of the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and also by Madras Christian College, her 2 alma maters. A wonderful human being and an energetic soul, Ms. Chandrika Tandon has been a constant source of inspiration. I now request our preceptor, Ms. Chandrika Krishnamurti Tandon, Chairperson, Tandon Capital Associates USA, to deliver her keynote address. Come, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. You've all been sitting and listening to lots of speeches for some time. I feel like making everyone stand up and move around, but it's okay. We'll pass on that for a moment. I'll keep it short. I'm the last event between you and dinner. My love affair with Madras Christian College started when I was probably 3 or 4 years old. It sounds ridiculous, but it's so true. My grandfather was an alumnus of MCC, and he was the love of my life, the love of my life. He still is, probably. I've been married and all that, but he's still the love of my life. He's been long gone. People, they tell you stories as you're growing up as a child. My stories were of Boyd and MacPhail. Who was Boyd, I didn't know. I didn't even know about college because, that wasn't particularly in my dreams at that moment. But I would hear about this great Scottish missionaries that formed this great institution called Madras Christian College, which was far, far away from T Nagar, which is where I grew up, in this very simple house where my mother had plants. So the two things that were happening, my grandfather was talking to me about Boyd and MacPhail and making me read 37 plays of Shakespeare by the time I was 14. And my mother was taking all the old saris she had and selling them so that she could buy utensils so that I could get married, because she was clear that I would be engaged at 17 and married at 18. And that was as I was the oldest daughter, and that was the clear plan for my very simple middle-class family. It was a dream. It was just something that was there. And until I had a chance to go to, I got admitted. I decided to apply when I finished my Holy Angels education, to apply to two colleges, Stella Maris. I know the sister Stella Mary is here, the principal of Stella Maris. So it was Stella Maris where I applied for literature and got in, and the other one was Madras Christian College for the BCom program. So there was this brand new BCom program that had just been started, which was an all-boys program with a few girls. And you can imagine my traditional mother heard it and she said, and oh, boys, many miles away over my dead body. That was a typical South Indian mother reaction and made some perfect sense to her. It made zero sense to me, so I went on a hunger strike. It was 2 days. It was a really important hunger strike. You can imagine as a 14, 15-year-old to try to really go on a hunger strike. And it was a big deal. Finally, I won because Sister Nesson, and I was telling Sister Mary, Stella Mary, the story yesterday that Sister Mary Nesson, my headmistress, who had never left my college, my Holy Angels Convent, ever in my 10 years that I'd never seen her leave the school, came out of the school in her car to my little home, and she basically told my mother, Mrs. Krishnamurthy, you have to send her to Madras Christian College. I promise you she won't run after any boys. So I didn't run after any boys. I just worked very hard. I had lots of boyfriends, but not one single boy. I didn't marry an MCC guy. So that love affair stayed. It was the most extraordinary experience of my life. Professor Chandradas was one of my professors, and he's here. I'm so honored to have him here. But Professor Swaminathan, who was at the Hindu for many years, Professor Swaminathan created this vision, and he inspired us. He made us all dream the impossible. And we had no resources because it was a newly formed department. But off the top, from the beginning, we were right on top. So that was my experience. And over the years, I've stayed in touch and I've stayed connected to the college because it gave me so much. And it was a college where we sang. Of course, there's my singing buddy out there, Mr. Vinu Maman. He was a few years senior to me, but we certainly did a lot of singing together. And, we sang, we hung out, but we studied very hard. So there was all of these elements in this great campus that took place. And we got to do things. We got to see some different parts of the world, which as a sheltered girl from Chennai, I hadn't seen. So MCC always had this very special place in my heart. And Professor Swaminathan was the reason I went to IIM Ahmedabad, because he came to my mother, my same mother, who had the exact same objections. Well, I went all the way to Madras Christian College. How the hell I was going to get up and go to Ahmedabad, pack up and be there overnight. And when I got into IIM Ahmedabad, he's the guy that encouraged me to apply. So the term unbounded was something he made me live, and many people in my life have made me live. And so this is kind of the dream I have for every BTSB student that comes into our college here, that it's unbounded, the possibilities are unbounded. But unbounded is more than just the individual person. It is just that we've got a vision for what the school is going to be. And there are 3 or 4 things, there's many things I can tell you, because it's something we've been thinking about, and with some great help from some of my IIM Ahmedabad classmates who've just readily, my friend Gopal here, and there's many others, Srilata, Sajeev, there's a bunch of them that just just came together selflessly to just really see how can we shape this college. They were oh no, you're not this, not that. And they were all ready to help. And we haven't even gotten started yet. This is only 6 months soft launch. We are now beginning today. But what does unbounded mean for us in this? What is going to be different about this? You've heard testimonials, you heard the students, you heard the industry. So, and we are part of MCC, this 187-year-old institution. So the number one thing is that we want to really create a curriculum that isn't just functional business. When I went to IIM Ahmedabad, and I'm on, I started out in America. I've been on the board of the Stern School. I've been teaching there. I've been doing lots of stuff for the last 24 years with the Stern School and other business schools. We don't just want technocrats. We don't just want people that can do finance well or marketing well or who can do individual functions well. We've done that. Now you've got AI, you've got a lot of other tools that's going to help you do it a lot better. We want students that have a critical thinking ability, students that can deal with resilience, because the situations are going to be a lot different each day than before. And we want holistic individuals, people that can deal with a variety. I mean, here we are. The students that talk to you about going into Lincoln Electric, that same student is going to spend another semester somewhere, sometime, working with an NGO or working with some problem of the world. So we want students to have a holistic experience. So that's number one. We leverage the skills of MCC, Madras Christian College, to be able to bring in, understand the sciences. Maybe because science and business are intertwined. The music and business are intertwined. When I released a CD 10 years ago, the story was completely different, and what happens now is a completely different. The music industry has changed dramatically. Every arts industry is changing. Visual arts is not the same. Netflix, you all know TV, you all watch TV. Netflix didn't exist 15 years ago. Apple TV didn't exist. So much is happening, so that we are going to be creating multiple courses which bring together the college and the business school. So it's not a standalone business school. Ravi put it very well. At the moment I described this to him yesterday, he said it's not a department of a college, but it's something much more. But it's not a standalone institution. We are not trying to be ISB. We're not trying to be IIM Ahmedabad. We have those. We are a different kind of a business school. Number two, we've got this extraordinary innovation park, the MRF Innovation Park. I mean, what the MRF guys have done is fantastic. I mean, they've dedicated themselves to the college, and we've got the opportunity to do much more. We've just gotten started. So the idea is that every one of the students that goes to Boyd Tandon School of Business will start and form a company in the course of their life, in the course of their 2 years, not once they leave. In the course of their 2 years, they would be required, working with the Innovation Park, to start a company. Now, 80-90% of them will fail, but that's okay. They will learn valuable lessons, but the 20% or 10% will succeed. We hope that number will be more. And hopefully we'll also have stakes in those companies as well. And everybody can benefit. They'll win, we'll win, everyone will win. So but the life lessons one learns starting a company, and I've been in all different careers, is very different from when you're just a corporate player, going from end to end, and because you suddenly risk your savings, you risk everything you have, you understand things about yourself you never knew possible. So that's the second piece of what our dream is in terms of creating holistic leaders out of this. The third piece, and you heard Beena and others talk about this, Purnakala talk about this, which is this whole idea of social immersion. We absolutely don't want students to come out of this who have no social consciousness. Because CEOs, leaders, you have to be aware of what's happening. You can't be blind and be a great finance person and not know what's happening to the climate. Industries are changing, and there's reasons industries are changing. So we want them to have an absolutely intense social immersion as part of they'll have to pick one or two problems, write about them, think about them, solve them, work on them, and come out as whole people. And part of this social immersion is also going to build their emotional skills. Because, you can say all you like, one of the key skills going forward is going to be emotional empathy and understanding how to manage different teams of people. Even now, if you just look at the generations, the millennial generation, the Gen Z, the Gen X, the Gen whatever, each generation has almost a different mindset. Each one thinks differently. And when you start to have large companies where you manage different groups of people and starting to work in changing industries, it requires a very different set of thought processes than normally others do. So we want them to have some sort of emotional skills and emotional intelligence, if we like. We want to build that as part of the social immersion. And last but not least, and we've had great industry leaders here, and many of you are here, and we're so grateful that you're here to do this, is to create a very strong bridge between industry and the institution. Because we have faculty. And we have great faculty. Dr. Jawahar, and we're going to be using faculty from MCC. We have an extraordinary faculty, but that's not the only faculty that's going to be MCC, Boyd Tandon School. It is going to be all of you industry leaders. And by the way, we haven't even come to each and every one of you yet. We're demanding that all of you come into the classroom, those of you who have interesting things to share. And by the way, you don't just have to be business leaders. You could have been somebody. I met this amazing woman who has just formed an extraordinary cooperative, Kalamkari workers, Anita Reddy. And she's worked with 3,000 people, formed a whole cooperative to create an arts cooperative. She's done that for 20 years. A lot of it has worked, a lot of it has failed. The cooperative is broken off. Now they've come together. How many lessons are there to be learned? Even for someone like me who's been in the business world for about 40, 50 years, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. And I look at the students, there's so much to be learned. So it doesn't just have to be a traditional blue chip company that comes in as, we'll get those too. But we want all of you, we want the virtual classroom to come in. And industry readiness is not just people coming in. We want our students out. I mean, these kids actually go out and do internships. It's not the ideal model. We have to change all of that a little bit to make it more palatable. But they actually go out in the afternoons and work in industry, and work on projects. And we're going to be doing a lot more of that. So the dream, I want to say dream, because remember, we are saying all this and it seems like a lot. And by the way, I was blown away, and I'm sure you will be as well. Just in the last 6 months, about 80 is the number, 80 executives, and I use executives loosely, but leaders from all industries have actually come and spoken and spent time with the students. And this goes from all range. When somebody takes a problem that they have solved and throws it to the students and does a case example with them and says, what do you do? And the students break it apart and talk about it. Or somebody who's just had an experience, like randomly like me, who walks in and says, hey, here's all the things I did. What do you guys think? So all different ranges. So to us, that is the classroom we want to have, while we're not, by the way, we're not ignoring any of the other stuff on the curriculum. We're not ignoring finance. We're got to keep the academic standards very high. So that is what the idea is, that we keep it industry ready and create the forums and the mechanisms for the connections between the two. So what do we want from you? That, there's as they say in America, there's no free lunch. There's dinner time, there's no free dinner. So we want a couple of things from you. Number one, we want to get great students. And we are so proud and happy that some of the principals of the other colleges are here. The head of Stella Maris, the head of WCC, Ethraj. We've got some great leaders here, and we're so honored to have you here, and we're so thrilled about the kind of institutions you're creating in Chennai. And we would love to get the best students here, because women, men, both, I mean, you don't have men in some of the colleges, but we would love to get the best students here, because the strength of the institution, the better the students, the better the curriculum, and the better the education we can provide. And we're going to be providing some amazing stuff. So we need great students. So we need all your help, and we'll do what we can to try to attract the great students. So that's kind of one. The second thing is, at the end of the day, we have to get our kids jobs. We have to get them. We can get them as industry ready, but we can't leave them economically bereft. So we need to make sure we get them paid internships. We're not asking for free money, but we do want to get them into internships, into jobs, into placements. And that's going to happen now. This is the second year. We're just we're coming to the end of the first year. So when I was in IIM Ahmedabad, the test, and in fact, when we would talk about how great the institute was, and IIM Ahmedabad was, when we went, it was a premier #1 institution. Gopal and I both went there. At that time, one of the tests that people would use is that, look, wow, for every kid that graduates from IIM Ahmedabad, there are at least 6 or 7 job offers, 6-to-1 kind of job offer placement ratio. And I think we have to get, for us to be a truly brand recognized school, I'd love to see us getting, so one thinks of dreams that we could have, I'd love to just see that we may not start with 6 because the market's a lot more ubiquitous now, but that we have more than one, that we have a 100% placement rate for all our students within 2 months of graduation or some short-term frame. So that's important, and we can't do it alone. We need Chennai with us. We need Tamil Nadu with us. We need India with us, the US with us. When we'll bring as much as we can to it. So we need to brainstorm with you as to how we bring the internships placements. And our job is I say us in the royal we sense, but it's the leaders' jobs here is to create the great students. And then finally, I mean, I think if indeed we can get some opportunities for scholarships or possibilities of things that you would like to, because we've just started out on the whole expansion program. It's very small because it's 60 students is the first class. We have the capacity to do 120 for the AICT has given us. So our class will be 120 and the second year will be 120. So we'll have 240 students. And the wonderful things we are planning are certificate courses. In, for example, one of the ideas that we've been talking about is creating a course for business course for leaders in the education field. So college, school leaders, and to bring them through the business program, and doing one-year masters, executive education. So we're starting all of these in parallel with the 2-year MBA program in the next few months, which are important for us to do. So we'd love to see if we can get industry engaged in helping us make that happen in one way, shape, or form, bringing executives in, helping us shape some of these programs so that they are real and relevant. So we have a dream, but I'm so thrilled and proud. My name was mentioned a few times, but I'm not the person here. I do nothing. I mean, it's easy. It's a privilege. It's a gift to be here. What is really happening is what is being done by these amazing leaders, and what is really being done by all of you, and what you will continue to do. Every time I heard an industry person stand up and say something, I just felt so happy that they were working with our students to make some good things happen. And I hope that all of you would do that and sharing whatever you can. I mean, all of you have some connections to companies and some connections to issues. Bring your problems, and bring your wisdom, because you have so much to offer. So that is kind of my ask, and I just really beg all of you to be engaged. I mean, whether you're alumni or not, I mean, you are all part of the family in that sense. That's why you're here. And it's important to us, and that we all create this incredible ecosystem, as Principal calls, but from a different standpoint. So with that, I'd like to maybe stop for a moment and before we break, and just open it up to questions, comments, ideas, any thoughts you guys have, from anyone as we go forward. I mean, I'd love to hear any thoughts. I mean, volunteers for internships, anything you want to say. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So I don't want to call on people. I'm happy to do that too. I run classes all the time, so it's a pleasure to do that. But I would like to hear, I would like to hear anyone telling me, hey, this is a stupid idea. Let me tell you why some things won't work, let me tell you why I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. But whatever, I'm not just looking for compliments or comments, but I'd really like to hear any reactions or feedback anyone has, or thoughts or ideas of how we can connect. I can pick. No, seriously, let's hear from anyone. Being first is always harder. Just introduce yourself.
My name is Sriram, and I manage a manufacturing business in Chennai. From Chennai originally, a geek, so I went to engineering school and then have an MBA as well. But Chandrika, what I heard today is what we see literally every day. And when I share with my clients outside of India that I can't find capable people to fill roles, they laugh at me and say, you've got a population that's larger than any other country in the world, and why can't you find people and get them in? And I think when I came out of engineering school, I had a degree, but I'm not sure I was a capable engineer, right? And I think the same thing happens out of business school, right? I came out of an MBA program in '93. I don't think I was a capable business person. I learned on the job, right? And it probably took me a few years to figure out what needed to be done. So I think the structure that you're putting in place, I agree with you, classroom in the morning, at a company in the afternoon with the traffic in Chennai may have a few difficulties, but I think that kind of an immersion program will help students immensely, but I think it'll also help all of us in industry, because we will get access to fresh thoughts and fresh ideas and fresh people who are actually capable and can get started right away. So sign me up.
Oh God, I like that. Somebody noting him down? Is somebody writing all the details? No, but this is exactly the idea, which is if we can begin to create, the only thing is we have to work out the economic model, right? Because in an ideal world, when we can create a good cohort system the companies would identify, like Lincoln Electric was saying, that they would say, we have 3 or 4 or 5 problems. Some are big problems, some are small problems. They come to you and say, which ones do you think you can handle? So it isn't just like sending one kid out there to go do it, but we create a cohort. So we create 3 or 4 students who have got the requisite interests and the skills, together with the faculty advisor, and then we send them to you. But we have to find an economic model that they get paid a little bit, because we can't do it entirely for free, because they still, we want to make it somewhat, it doesn't have to be, total executive level salaries, but we have to create some economic model that it's sustainable. But I think this is something that as we create, the thing I was going to say, by the way, is that we're creating this advisory board, with which Alfred is going to chair. Where is Alfred? Alfred is always sitting in the back. That's the part of his problem. He's a board chair. But, to create across the ecosystem, as principal calls it, across the business school, the innovation park, which is an extraordinary resource, and the BCom students. By the way, a lot of the Infosys stuff and so on we spoke about is just as applicable to the BCom and the MCom students as it is to PG. We haven't even started there, but once we do it here, we can go there. So we're going to start to create this group. So I'm hoping that when we get this advisory group really working on individual problems, that's exactly what we need to work through. Yeah, thank you for that. Other thoughts, other questions, thoughts?
Glad to be listening to you. Thank you. I mean, we were reflecting. Okay, my name is Enfil. I head HR for a US-based Silicon Valley company in India. You spoke of social consciousness, critical thinking, and resilience. So my question to all of us to reflect and brainstorm is, how do we inculcate this behavior as part of our curriculum? Right? Speeches would be good, and guest lectures, anecdotes, triggers would be good, but how do they imbibe this and internalize this? I mean, we all seek that in the corporate world as well. So I want to know, what is that structure that we have in our curriculum?
David, principal, one of you guys want to take that on? One of the faculty?
Thank you for this question. Social immersion, as they call it, as maybe in MCC we call it a service learning program. It's a very brilliant question that you've asked. The problem with the MBA graduates when they get into the company is that they don't have empathy. I think many CEOs, when we had a last meeting in Taj, Hotel Taj, they expressed this, that the guys are very structured in thinking. They think from top down. They don't think from bottom up, from the end user's perspective. So that is why we have a structured programs that we offer. I was discussing with Dr. David also on this. It is not about just field work, like people go, come back and submit a report. That would not provide empathy and engagement and hence change in the personality traits. But we have some structured programs where we will plan very clearly some of the competencies that are required for MBA graduate from MCC BTSP and the end user's requirement in the community. We'll just map the competencies and the need, end user's perspective. And we'll structure a program and we'll have reflections regularly. These reflections will help us to understand the impact the students have received as a consequence of the empathy and engagement with the community. I think this is what, I'm sure that we have done this in MCC and it has really worked. We'll try to extrapolate the same thing to BTSP. Thank you.
Next, go ahead. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sudhi Sharma. I'm actually director with the Global FTA. To add on to the point, something that we actually effectively do in Bangalore is catch the kids young. We start addressing the kids when they are in 8th or something, and we address the parents also. And we actually try to groom the kids. We try to inculcate certain social habits, certain this thing. And it's a continuous process. So we would, as Global FTA is a partner with MCC, we would like to bring that aspect in MCC where we can invite the kids. It would be effectively a branding activity for you. But the intention here is to bring them here, even the parents here, give them a counseling. I think you are one of the best example when it comes to the parents creating a boundary. So
many of us, I'm sure, have had it.
Many of us. Yeah, actually, you said it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Actually, we have, whether knowingly or unknowingly, it is still there. Somewhere, it is being created by the parents. So we are trying to break that boundary. Our founding chairman is actually very keen on that. He himself appreciates it, and he is the person who is driving behind us. He's keeping me almost like 16 hours on road. to do this.
Great. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's great.
So we'll definitely help you on this.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you. Other thoughts? Somebody from this side. There we are.
Hi, I'm Ravin. I run a technology and consulting business in Chennai. I also manage a non-profit in the education space. We work with children in the early education space where we help them learn through stories. So one of the challenges, I think if we're all honest, and I think I'll echo, friends who have spoken before, is I think we are trying to solve problems that we create in early childhood, right? So our entire system of education, focuses on knowledge, not on learning, not on skills. And this is a problem that we face every day, and I'm sure who's hiring people today has that issue. We have a very big problem when we hire people. We have qualified people, dime a dozen, but we don't have people who have the skills, the attitude, empathy is a great word, missing. Commitment, self-motivation, right? Critical thinking, stuff like that. Ownership, right? I can go on and on, right? So in fact, in the last year and a half, we have completely changed our hiring methodology. We don't ask anybody, where do you work? What have you done? Have you done this? Have you faced a problem? No. We ask them about what did you do as a child, right? What did you learn, right? What were the difficult situations you faced? So, and I think in the absence of a solution to that problem, and we face that in the nonprofit world that we work in, I think that would be very, very important for BTSB to focus on, right? So in addition to all of the academic parts or the components of the program, in addition to industry connections, in addition to work experience, internships, I think there has to be a lot of focus on skills that are very difficult to build. These are not easy to build, but I think that has to be a very critical part of the focus of the school. And if you're able to crack that problem, I don't think there'll be any problem in getting 5 offers per graduate. Thank you.
This is a really important point that you're making, and there's 2 thoughts I have, and I'm sure others have other points as well. Number one, I'm just going to use a McKinsey example. McKinsey and Company, you're in consulting. McKinsey is the extreme end of, and especially when I went to work there, this was a very, very small, very high-end consulting firm. Day one, they took just the Baker Scholars, which is the top 5% of Harvard, Stanford, whatever the schools. They didn't even go to most of the schools. And they would put us straight into the boardroom. So that was the challenge they had, and into difficult problems. And talking of conditioning, people who've come from a certain environment with no emotional skills, there were a lot of us in that group. The first year of training I got at McKinsey was all about different skills workshops. Influence skills was, and I still to this moment, and I can feel, my nape pricking, because those training courses were so tough, because senior partners would come and give you client situations that not have had. They certainly made you a lot more aware and lot skilled. So with the right training, I think there's hope. It's not lost. Of course, you can never replicate what you can do from these incredible childhood things, but there's a lot we can do especially if we borrow on industry approaches and industry skills. Since we can't deal with people from childhood and we are left with this. I think the second thing I would say is that part of this connection with MCC is some of the skills of just communication, of being able to, we've got everything, things stand in the way, everything from the way people use English to the way that people sit in a group and how people shake hands. All of these start to make differences in the way people's confidence comes in. And I think there's a lot we can do with theater and drama. MCC is known for all that we haven't even thought through some of those ideas yet, to bring some of that into the curriculum and be non-traditional. So those are some of the ways, and I'm hoping, that's the last point I was going to make, that many of you will be engaged in helping us shape the curriculum, that we can look together and say, hey, what are some measures we can use to say that we are doing it right? And we'll get some measures and we won't get others. But let's put some indices. Let's see, how do we know it's like I can feel it, but I don't know it. So let's figure out some good indices. And so we'd love to co-opt some of you to be able to do that with us. So we want to get 5 offers per kid or 10, This is Chennai. We're making them definitely Tamil Nadu ready, Most of them speak Tamil to start with, which isn't a bad thing.
Ma'am, may I please come there?
Please.
I came up here because one doesn't get a chance every day to stand next to a Chandrika Tandon. Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure and a very proud moment to stand here because of Dr. David Jawhar. He was my teacher. And it was 1992 where I did my MBA. Today, I run a company which was founded in Singapore. My founder sitting right there. Telling championships. We're about storytelling. We're in 181 countries. Stories educate, stories transform. That's what we're doing. We have transformed the lives of 1 lakh students across Tamil Nadu through the Mudalvan skill development program. So storytelling is a skill. And it's a skill not only for business people, it is for every individual. Today, I just had an idea when I saw Mr. Maman here. After so many years, we didn't get a chance as MBA students to interact with you, Mr. Ravi. So one day with the chairman of a corporation would do wonders for students. Those are things that we industry people should do. We interact daily, every day with people from college students, maybe teachers, maybe others. But where is this, if you could give us that time where we can spend time with the students, they can spend that one day with us, would be learning. That's one thing. Next, storytelling is about giving. For example, Palestine has 2 seas, the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea. They both get water from the same source, River Jordan. You go to Sea of Galilee, there's just happiness all around. There are trees, there are birds, there's singing, there's chirping, there's just everything lovely. Children playing and colorfulness. You go to the Dead Sea, completely dead. Nothing, no life, absolutely nothing. What is the difference? Both get the source of water from the same River Jordan. Dead Sea receives the water, keeps it. Receives, keeps, receives, keeps. Stagnation. Where there's stagnation, there's death. There's quietness, there's dullness. The Sea of Galilee receives the water and leaves it out to the ocean. It just gives. And when you give, you grow, you thrive. That is what the Boyd Tandon School of Business has been doing. They've been giving opportunities. They gave us an opportunity, not even thinking we are a startup, and we've started here. They let us open the Blue Hornbill Storytelling Club, and we've had 2 sessions with these wonderful students, and it has been such an experience, wherein you come to this huge institution called MCC and the business school and start off a storytelling club through which you bring in social cohesiveness. Everybody is not glued onto the mobiles, ensuring that we have social obligation. We've forgotten most of our older generation live in, old age homes, orphanages, where we get these students to actually go there, listen to stories, tell stories, give back to society. So that is also important, the emotional quotient. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
We'll maybe 2 more questions, 2 more comments, and I'd love to hear. Yeah, go ahead, please. I'd love to hear from one of the principals as well.
Hi, I'm Naveen Prakash, founder of Global Logistics, ex-MCCN. I did my economics here and connected to the faculties here. I've also been to the Boyd School especially for admission of students, and I did my master class here in logistics. So only 3 students were interested in logistics, and I'm very happy one of them was happened to be on the stage today. So my suggestion rather is that I'm running my own business for the last 18 years, and 7 years ago I took a business coach with me. He made a tremendous change in my business, in my life, how I look at things. And I would suggest that any student who's completing the graduation from here, usually we see on a biodata, they put reference. I would like them to put mentor or coach on the resume with the name and address and the phone number. So people who are hiring them, they know that this person is a mentor and coach for them. And the mentor and coach in the life continues for a period of 4 to 5 years. Obviously, when they're going to work in any other business organization, they're going to face certain situations where they cannot usually talk to friends or the parents or whomever they are. But they get an opportunity to talk to the business coach, at least for those 4 to 5 years. Of course, you can change your coach when you grow bigger than what you are today to go to a bigger coach. But I think that aspect of having somebody backing you up when you're in an environment, as you said that when you went to McKinsey, they put you in a situation where you're not prepared at all. But obviously, you need to find somebody who would be coaching you from a distance or available to you over the phone and things like that. So as I said that only 3 students were interested in logistics and supply chain management. I wouldn't mind being their coach for the next 5 years, wherever they go. I mean, they find a situation in marketing or sales or HR related issues, they can ask me and I would love to help them. So just a suggestion that when you instead of putting a reference, you put a coach or a mentor, it'll be different resume altogether, because the interviewer would ask them, what do you mean by a mentor or a coach? It's like, this person is going to continue with me for next 3 to 5 years. There's a suggestion from me.
It's a great idea. And don't worry, we're getting the next batch soon. I'm sure there'll be more than 3 in the logistics space. And thank you for the offer. But I think this is a great idea because, we are looking, the thing we are trying to do from the institution standpoint is to provide platforms for engagement. Because very often, in the US, we all try to get engaged. It's very hard to get engaged because institutions are busy with their own jobs. You say engage, they say yes, have a meeting. A month later, someone calls you, and what? Nothing happened. You might come and speak to students. But here we are trying to create very clear avenues and platforms for engagement. Lectures, advisory groups, and these aren't just altu-faltu advisory groups. These are groups which are serious. We need help. We're a startup. There's an advantage of being a startup and a disadvantage. The disadvantage is that, there's lots of stuff we haven't figured out. The advantage is that we can leapfrog a lot of things. We can talk about AI, which it would take I remember about a long time to figure out because they are the reputation's so amazing that any change they make, they have to do it slower. We can leapfrog everything. And we need you guys to help us do that. So this is a real ask from all of you to be engaged. And we will, I say we again in the very loving royal sense, but the leadership, especially David as the dean and his faculty, I think will be providing those. And he's already, I'm amazed that 80 people have come in and spoken, and how you even found the time between the internships and the classrooms is mind-boggling, but congratulations on doing that. You've got to give him great kudos for making that happen. Other thoughts? One of the principals, yeah, go ahead, and then I'd like to hear one of the principals.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Ashwin from Murugappa Group. So I'm from Loyola. Basically, I did my MBA there, but my uncle is an IAS officer from MCC. His name is Dr. Clement Ilango. And I also know Dr. David Jauhar. He was my wife's professor at BIM. And I also have my Professor Raja Singh, who is also my teacher. Yeah. So, it's a family.
We'll forgive you for having been in Loyola. No, just kidding. No, it's part of our family. We're all part of Chennai. So we incorporate MCC school, Chennai, all that we'll take as part of the family.
Absolutely. And family, definitely a family. So I have 2 thoughts that just came to my mind. One is on the optionals that we provide. So we were talking about AI and all those. But I think, having been in HR and other things, we had met a few people around in Chennai and other international schools. They say topics like assertiveness should be a part of the curriculum rather than AI and other things. So I think we should give weightage to those kind of topics as well. And also a lot on what you call stress, because that is something which we think the generations to come will have to deal with. And with families getting nuclear, there'll be a lot of challenges that they'll have to face. So I think we should provide a solutions. I think Boyd will do that. The second thing that is coming to my mind is, we did a marketing survey very recently to understand what the Gen Z and Gen Alpha is all about. So our marketing team came with something like, so we told them we need 5 adjectives. So they said they're impulsive, they're lazy, they're demanding, so a lot of things. Now the answer to this is, now we are trying to understand that there'll be lesser footfalls in future because everything they want at their doorstep, they want it very quickly, they don't have loyalty. So our curriculum should address that because we are dealing with the new generation altogether. Just that you were saying a couple of minutes ago, it's a completely different generation. So what we are again thinking now is, in our group and outside is, now that footfalls will be very less, how do we catch these guys, our new customers? That should be the way forward, because I think now going forward, we're also thinking that, in HR, we are trying to see how they manage their profiles in LinkedIn. What do they do? What do they do in Facebook? We have, are they inclined, what they say in the resume and what they reflect in the social media, are they the same? We are trying to figure out that, to understand, because we are not able to figure out what he is telling us in the 15 minutes of interview that we have. So all these things, I think we need to bring it together, and I think it's a great opportunity for me to be with you.
Great.
today.
I mean, thank you. Those are excellent points. And I think we, hopefully working with David and everyone else, we will incorporate the whole area of soft skills management, HR. That's what I'm saying to you. Going forward, that to me is the huge pillar we're going to have to. What the details are, we don't have all the answers yet. And that's what be great for you to get more into whatever you can share with us to help us shape some of the curriculum. We would love that. And by the way, the hope too is that some of the things we do in the business school, we will move into the college as well. This is not just going to be, these are generic things. We want all our students to get it. So that's part of the idea. Ravi.
My name is Ravi. I'm a director of the Hindu group of newspapers. My background is in law and journalism. I was the editor-in-chief of the Hindu earlier. I was amazed to hear about the type of education this school is offering, the tripartite approach of academic excellence, industrial experience, and social immersion. And I'm sure a lot of these ideas have come from you and also from the other leaders here. I would have 2 suggestions to make. One is, maybe you could interact with other institutions because you have much to give. And also they might have something to give also in other institutions, both within the country and abroad, who have gone through this and have experience in management education. A second idea would be that generally I find in management education, the focus is a bit narrow. And I would suggest that you have creative writing courses, more of literature. There's much to be learned from Shakespeare, from Jane Austen, from Tolstoy and others. So create courses in creative writing and possibly widen the literature, widen the reading to literature.
That's a brilliant, it's a really good idea. And in fact, you said tripartite, you left the 4, I don't know what the equivalent English term is for quadripartite, but it's actually the 4th leg is exactly that. It's the connection with MCC. This morning, the debate and discussion that Principal David and I and Alfred, where is Alfred? We were having was just, how can we create courses? Yale has a course called the Grand Strategy, which a lot of us who have kids at Yale will know. They will take 25 great books over the course of, and they would read them. This would be the Iliad, the Odyssey. And you understand what strategy meant to Alexander the Great as what strategy meant to in the Mahabharata as it would mean to something else. So you start to look at strategy in the biggest sense of the word. So your whole vision expands. So this is starting to look at all, we were looking at writer's nook at the college. So we have so much, and we have so many journalists here who are MCC alums or who, anyway part of MCC in one way, shape, or form, including you now. We've co-opted you into this fold. But I just think that's what we would love to do. So I think it's a brilliant idea which we have to develop further. Others.
Hi, Chandrika. Happy to meet you again. I'm Aarti. I head the operations of Innovation Park in MCC. I have two things to share. First thing is maybe I can take the pleasure in sharing that 3 of the startups who are in logistics are going to be mentored by Arun's team and from TTK as part of a hackathon, and they are going to go along nurturing their idea and really become a startup, hopefully. That's something that we are already working with the Boyd Business School. One suggestion or one request that I would want to keep here is that there are industrialists, there are profound leaders here who are going to shape up the future of these kids here. That will be a great experience, but would love to have them spend some time and intern with the startups at the ecosystem as MBAs, contribute their learnings and apply that into real term. Because working in a startup is a different experience altogether. Working with their counterparts, maybe working on a budging idea that you do not know how it is going to come in future. That's altogether a lot of risk, as you mentioned. And if they are able to at least a trimester or 10 days at a startup, engage with them, that I'm sure that they will get a different kind of experience working with startups. Thank you.
It's a great idea. Really, it's very important to do. And that's one of the reasons why Alfred and Arun and all of them are going to create this, advisory group that kind of brings together all of the pieces. The business school, the innovation park. We can't keep them all separate. They're very connected. Not just industry people, but students and faculty should all be engaged in the startups to mentor and move them forward. That's what we need to do. And everyone can learn from everyone else. What are the principles I'd like to hear from? Just before we wrap up this session, I'd like to hear how we can connect that ecosystem of getting great, because the school is only as good as the great students we get. And you are the greatest feeders, in addition to MCC, of some of the most wonderful students Chennai has to offer.
So actually, you have 2 very proactive people here who will not leave us alone. Good. One is Dr. Wilson, the other one is Dr. Jawahar. So this is not my first visit to this place. Along with 20 other faculty members, I was invited by Dr. Wilson. So I was on that stage giving a lecture to your students also. So yes, so my take would be that we have a lot of very talented girls. Some of them probably are clueless about a business school and what that direction would be like. And every year, almost more than 1,000 students graduate from just commerce and BBA and so on. So if you could engage these students with some activities, maybe a hackathon, I don't know what it is. So you create that interest and that awareness that there is this scope for them in life and create that interest. I think it'll be great. Already some of your professors have come and spoken. But more than that, if they get actively engaged, if you can have some activities for our college students, I think that'll be great.
That would be a fantastic brainstorming session to do together with our college and your colleges to see what would be useful activities that will be engaging, will not take away too much of the time because you've got other things, and that we can create something that's a win-win for everybody. So let's make that one of the things that we all work on together. I think it's a really terrific idea because the more they're engaged, the more they'll want to do this. And we're also thinking of creating a lot of short-term programs as well. So in addition to the postgraduate diploma, so I think those would also be interesting opportunities for us to explore together. Any more last burning questions before we wrap up for the day?
My name is Daniel. I head HR for a technology company. And also I head a NGO. Probably taking a clue from the principal. We've been talking about how students are benefiting, and probably if students can be also mentors, like students in WCC, students in MCC. Also, I work closely with government schools. So if they can be mentors, so it kind of connects both sides. So they are already mentored. They're being mentored and also being mentored, so it can connect. So just an idea.
Very good idea. And those are great opportunities for social immersion and social engagement when we can get, particularly once they've got a little bit of their feet wet, if they can, in the second half of the first year or the second year, become engaged in a more active way on a continuous basis with some of the institutions, that would be fantastic. Exactly. No, the best way to learn is by teaching. Yes, please. I'm sorry, I know we want to wrap this up and eat dinner. Yeah. Five more minutes? Can we go 5 more minutes? Okay, 5 minutes and we'll wrap this up.
And it's just a brief question. My name is Raimund Graf. I'm a retired government official, civil servant from Germany. And I'd like to hear your thoughts about the interaction between government, business, because business does not operate in a vacuum. It works in a regulatory environment, and the political conditions under which business works are very important. So how to bring that into the curriculum, how to bring current affairs and the knowledge of public policy, how public policy actually comes about and how it affects business and business decisions. Wondering if you have any thoughts on how to bring that into the curriculum.
I think this is a really, particularly in the Indian context, this is a really interesting and important question. I mean, we in the US, in the business schools, we draw on courses on public policy on various topics of public policy, particularly when it gets into any of the issues. So we have specific courses on public policy, and we have, for example, business and law, so which will deal with all of the intellectual property issues and the public policy issues versus intellectual property and with AI. So all the different layers of what's going to happen with rights and so on. So this is an evolving thing and it's very much part of the curriculum. Here, I'm going to let Wilfred, who's one of our alums and who's been very involved with us, and he's actively involved in the government of Tamil Nadu. Maybe, Wilfie, you want to add something to this? But recognizing your point that this, again, we are an embryonic curriculum, so we are starting, but I think these are the issues we have to bring in to make it holistic and complete. So thank you for that. Wilfie?
When Chandrika asks you to speak, you jolly well do.
Because he's got so much to say. And he's been involved in creating and shaping this from the beginning. I just haven't pulled Gopal and you yet.
I think compliances now are going to be a big thing. We're getting trapped on all sides. We're getting bashed on all sides. And the regulations don't seem to be coming down in any way. So I think the idea of compliances being taught to the students, that will be a great thing that they can add value to. It'll keep them out of trouble in the days to come. And I think compliances can be anything. It can be even in the matters of dealing with shares and stuff like that, running a company, doing business deals, even doing business contracts with government, like you said. I can think of amazing list of, don'ts in government contracts, for example. So I think, those are things. There are some companies that are very, very clear. We don't do business with government, So I think it does a lot of good to bring all that in. I mean, what's good to go to, what's not good to go to, and that kind of stuff. And very free discussions with the students. I already did one session here. So I think free-for-all sessions, where anybody can shoot anything. Those kind of stuff will really reveal things, because sometimes we look at the system and think it's all clear, but then it's not really clear. There's a lot of stuff between the lines. There's so much of things padded in and you don't know. You'd rather not have got into that space if you knew you're going to waste 3 years of your time. Now there's so much of creativity around. There's a lot of right brain stuff coming into business, which is great. But what they don't realize is I assume the market is there, and so I get into it. I get into it thinking the market will open up for me, but then I realize after 3 years, the market is just not listening to me, because of the compliances and the systems and the way the system is already wired. So I think it'll do a lot of good for our young people to know that part of it.
And at a minimum, I think we will start to involve a lot more speakers because we've just begun with the speakers. So I think there'll be many more speakers across the full scope of the business system and government to come in and speak to us. Last question. No, sit and do it.
My name is Maman. I work for MRF. Well, there's some fantastic questions asked by all of you. And one thing I always do in my company is when I have to interview somebody, the first question I ask is, have you cleaned the floor of your factory? Just menial work. Half of the people, when they ask a question, they just leave. Actually, that really, you bring out the guy's character, how they work as a team. Teamwork is so critical in a factory. I'm not talking about the IT and I don't know much. But factories I can run. You can ask Mr. Reggie what is he works in MRF. The first lesson was working on the factory floor. You were cleaning. Yeah. And today is Big Dada advising everybody. And the last thing is, we have to get good teachers. You need 100, like you have mentioned that last time, at least 100 Swaminathan's. That makes a big difference. Completely. Big difference. Anyway, that's it. I want to make it as short as possible.
And I think those are both incredible points because I think both are important. And the quest for teachers is going to now get into the resources we have to bring in and the number of people we bring in and professors of practice and people that are going to be engaged with the school. So all different shades, but great teachers. And as you say, one Swaminathan changed not just my life, but a lot of people's lives. Many people will tell stories like I would. With that, Priya.
Hi, my name is Priya, and I run a manufacturing firm. I'm not here to make suggestions, but I just want to make myself available to the women students especially. I don't know how many of you are here, but I really want to be able to mentor you. Men are also welcome, but I really want to mentor the women students here, Chandrika. And I want you to come spend time with me in the factory, maybe even spend a day following me around and see what it entails to run a manufacturing business. And I also want to help with placement.
Oh God, that's fantastic.
Yeah, because I have, lots of friends and family who run businesses, and I want to be involved in doing paid internships so that you can all find your own path and see what work interests you and where you'd like to be in the future. So
Thank you for that.
Volunteering my time. I'm not sure who all the management in here, but
David will be WhatsApping you
Yes.
at the end of the session
Yes.
today. We're not letting one thing
I'm happy to be of any help.
This is very important.
And congratulations on a fabulous business school that you've established. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. This is great. And we've got a sign-up sheet for cases, for money, for internships. No, I'm kidding. But please do let us know. And by the way, yesterday, like Ravi, you were saying, we come in and talk about the challenges that you're thinking about, and let the students do the work, and they'll think about it with you. And this is part of the learning. Both of you might get something out of it, and they will certainly get a lot out of it. So we invite every one of you, and I know many of you have done it, but this is truly what will make us special. So thank you all. Please, and somebody's going to discuss the logistics. I'm just happy to be here and be part of this whole environment. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. No B school is really relevant without the active support of the industry. It is not a one-way traffic, but a synergetic relationship. There is a give and take. Thank you, ma'am. The event has almost come to an end with the famous Cesar's Pever's quote, "We don't remember days, we remember moments." It is my delight to invite Dr. Raja Singh, Associate Director, MCC BTSB, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening to everyone. I thank every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I saw first time Madam Chantrika during the foundational stone laying ceremony in December 16, 2019. Now it is 21st January 2025. So every time I see the energy in this young lady, 70 years young. So I love to see the energy and enthusiasm all the time. So first of all, it becomes a reality. MCC Boy Tandon School of Business becomes a reality. So I thank God for all the blessings He showered upon every one of us, and it becomes real. I thank God, and for this inaugural function. And one thing, based on my experience with Chantrika ma'am, I would like to say a few words. Just as no perfume can eclipse personality, just as no light can eclipse the luminance of your philanthropy, may you continue to be a blessing to a multitude, including MCC Boy Tandon School of Business. So I thank Madam for all her, whatever if she speaks, it's a blessing. If she comes, it's a blessing. So every year she comes, and we are looking for the next year. She comes with a big bang. May God bless. So our sincere thanks to Madam. Then my sincere thanks to our beloved chairman for his visionary leadership. The voice vibrates, and I hear the voice of our chairman whenever he speaks. The voice vibrates, it gives energy. And thank you, sir, for your visionary leadership to this MCC family. And a constant driving force, that is Varaprasadam. That is our Alfred Devaprasad. Always I call him, sir, it's a Varaprasadam, because you cannot be idle. He will drive again and again, and until we get success. And that's his nature, and because of that only it came into existence. So I thank God. I thank our beloved Dr. Alfred Devaprasad. I have been associating with him for the last 15 years, and it's a wonderful journey. Thank you, sir. And I thank all our principal. Is a silent driving force. Very calm and composed, but he will try. And our director, David Javahar. So for all their dedication and leadership, I thank for driving this MCC Boy Tandon School of Business. So I thank many alumni of our MCC. Many helped in various ways. And one of the important person is Mr. Ashok Thomas. He is very instrumental in bringing all the press persons, interviews, so many things. And I never imagined it can be done like this. But see, he has done it. And our, so kudos. Thank you, sir. Thank you for all your support. Many press persons came to this business school for the first time. And also, they are making it big. So I thank Ashok. And also, there is Dr. Manohar. He retired as a headmaster, the principal of MCC school. But I think he is more vibrant now. He is the correspondent of school. And he allotted one faculty, a nice faculty, Franklin, from his school, to reach out to all the press persons. Within the span of, we spent the last Saturday around 6 hours to reaching out to all the press people, both print media and visual media. So thank you, sirs. So like this, we have many well-wishers, all our industry friends. So whenever we see our industry friends, we get idea. When our morale is becoming very low, we call one person and he will give some ideas. Hey, you can do like this. So like this, we are getting ideas and energy from all our industry persons. And many are here. Many times they are here. Some people, I think Ravin sir is coming for the 3rd time for this kind of conference. 2 times at the Taj Hotel and now. But he is coming every time whenever MCC requests. So thank you for all our industry friends. I cannot name one by one. So I thank all the industry friends and partners who have blessed this occasion. This inaugural function becomes reality. Officially, we have inaugurated. Sometimes people ask, wait, what is this inauguration? You have done something before and something now. I used to say, one is baptism, another one is confirmation. So somehow, God is so gracious to give many people, many well-wishers, many seniors. Sir Kobal is here. The initial period of time, the friend of our Chandrika ma'am, he has driven us very much. And and PCR Suresh, sir, many board members. So many people are with us. So it's really a God's blessing for us to have such people in our lives and for building this MCC Boy Tandon School of Business. So, and we cannot ignore all the helps extended by our officers, vice principals, and faculty members of MCC, Madras Christian College. I always used to say, whenever you say, you are MCC Boy Tandon School, you have gone there, no, like that. You are my mother. We cannot go every time because I happen to see that age-old mother is with the Chandrika ma'am, 92 years old. So whatever you have 187 years old, and whatever it is, you are my mother. So always you are here to help us. So we thank all the MCC fraternity. Many faculty members come. We thank every one of you for your loving kindness. So like this, I can go on and on. I thank our own faculty members, staff, and our students. Today, everybody is organizers. I am getting calls, right? Canteen person didn't supply the food. I'm calling. So everyone is calling. So I'm getting calling after call. So, but I think it has come. I always believe, in spite of pressures and drives, I always believe God makes everything beautiful in His time. So we can. So thank you, everyone. So I thank all of our family members for this occasion. I thank you, everyone. So as we move forward, let us remember that this is just a beginning. And the future holds limitless possibilities. That's what Madam called unbounded. Thank you, and may God bless every one of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. As we conclude, let us carry forward the knowledge and the inspiration we have gained today. May this event be the catalyst for further learning, collaboration, and positive change. Thank you once again for all your participation and support. Thank you. Yes. So the next highlight of the event is ready for us, the dinner. The dinner would be served in the cafeteria and the boys' common room. Our student, our sir, will guide you all. Bon appetit.